Welcome back. A report has revealed that almost half of all British charities that conduct work overseas are now facing closure. Research from the Small Independent Charities Development Network looked at the current state of the 10,000 UK charities that do work abroad. Of them, 45% are set to close in the next year due to cuts in funding. The group says the closures come amid an increase in demand for charity work during the virus pandemic. Well, last month, the government merged the Department for International Development with the Foreign Office and announced a £2.9 billion cut to Britain's overseas aid budget. Well, to discuss this further, I'm now joined by the Operations Manager at Carers Worldwide, so that's Ruth Patil. Ruth, thank you very much indeed for joining us. How has the pandemic affected your organisation?
So it's affected Carers Worldwide in a range of ways, really. So we work in Nepal, Bangladesh and India to support carers. So that's family members who are looking after a disabled or sick relative, someone with a long-term health condition. 84% of the carers that we work with are women. And at the best of times, they are highly isolated, cut out of the workplace, and really struggling. The pandemic has meant that these women are further isolated. Obviously, the relatives that they care for are highly susceptible to COVID and its impacts, so they are having to self-isolate in their houses and don't have access to food support and that kind of thing. So we've had to completely adapt a lot of our activities to respond to their needs. So emergency food relief, sanitation packages, that kind of thing. We've had to alter the face-to-face work that we do and put that online, or trying to keep in contact with carers via the phone. So it's massively impacted the way that we work. It's also impacted our funding. So almost immediately, any income that we would have got from events has gone, because obviously, events, lots of community activities here in the UK have been cancelled, and those would have been sources of income for us. We've also found that a lot of the trusts and foundations that we would typically rely on for support have had their income cut, and have also changed their criteria for funding. So they are just funding charities that just operate within the UK for the time being.
Well, Ruth, I was going to say, this is happening to many charities across the country, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, it's hit the whole charity sector, both charities that are working here in the UK and also charities that are working globally. There's massive need everywhere. Individuals and communities here in the UK have been hugely devastated by COVID. I myself, I'm a carer, I have a disabled child, so, I know how hard it is. But, we're asking people also to think about those communities overseas who are already struggling with isolation and poverty, and, to think about the ways that they've been further impacted by COVID.
Well, Ruth, what if there's a second wave? I mean, do you have any plans or procedures in place?
Absolutely. So, as I said, we have adapted most of our activity, and we will continue to do that for as long as is necessary. Small charities that work overseas are hugely responsive. We work really closely with our communities, often in partnership with, local organisations and local government. So we really know what the need is. So we're able to, quickly adapt how we work. We've put plans in place to set up helplines, telephone helplines for carers. And, we have put plans in place to try and operate, as remotely as we can. We've made sure that frontline staff are equipped with PPE. We've been able to get carers and disabled people producing masks, which will be distributed across their communities. So lots of change like that, and lots of planning forwards for a potential second wave.
Indeed, it sounds it. Ruth, what do the government need to do, you think, to help you? What would you recommend? Or your final question on this?
Sure. obviously, you know, cuts are happening across the board to all government budgets, and we appreciate that. What we would ask as small charities is that we're not forgotten. So, you know, we're out there doing that frontline work, like a lot of small charities here in the UK. We would urge the government not to forget us. You know, we would urge them to ring fence funding for small charities, so that, you know, we can continue to support these vulnerable communities. We would also ask that they, you know, they look at the gift aid scheme, for example, and increase the benefits available to all charities from the gift aid scheme. That would benefit charities here as well as charities working overseas.
Indeed. Some good ideas there. Ruth Patil, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.